we are told the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Yinzers, are hot and heavy. They're all horny to get themselves a former Super Bowl MVP. That would be LARIM wide receiver Cooper Kupp. Jay Glazer reporting recently that the Pittsburgh football team gung-ho to get their hands on Kupp and have him come to the confluence there in Pittsburgh. So let us discuss the question. Some recent buzz picking up that the Steelers have been interested for many, many months in getting their hands on Cooper Kupp in a trade. Would that be a good fit? So I have Twilight Zone, War Slogan, and Fire Drill. And we will combine all of these things together and hold up a protest sign is what we're going to do. So Number one. I said number one. Well, this all depends on what exactly Mike Tomlin is itching for in Pittsburgh. But keeping it real, if you have watched the NFL in recent years, that you know what I know, that while Cooper Kupp is a big name, he has not provided a lot of game in recent years. He is a diminishing asset. That is why the Rams are looking to get out of the Cooper Kupp business. He's better in theory than he is in reality. It's been that way for several years. So if you want a player who is what I call in the twilight zone, then Cooper Kupp's your guy. Picture, if you will, a world where you trade for someone that has name brand value and instead get a guy with generic brand performance. That's Cooper Kupp. The arrow is pointing in the wrong direction. Now, we have seen players change teams and have a career renaissance, so that's clearly what someone will be banking on if they acquire Cooper Kupp. But based on what he has done, if you look at the eyeball test and you look at the Pro Football Reference page, Cooper Kupp, his yards per season has trended down. 4 straight seasons. 4 straight seasons going the wrong direction. His receiving success rate also down. 4 straight years. And his magical season, the peak of his superpowers when he was the MVP candidate, Cooper Kupp is 50% the player that he had been. He averaged that year 114.5 yards per game. He is down to 59.2. The biggest problem, which is unsolvable at this point, is that even if Cooper Kupp were to go to a place like Pittsburgh or to the Patriots and would have some success, would have a taste of success, even if that was the case, he is star-crossed. All right, he is star-crossed because he's heading towards his age 32 season, and the bugaboo, the Komodo dragon in the room, he is damaged goods. Damaged goods. Buyer beware. Buyer beware. Cooper Kupp has missed an entire season, 18 games, and a season plus with various injuries in recent years. And as he gets older, I think we know how this works because we're all getting older. No one's getting younger. If you're getting younger, you're a freak. Everyone's getting older, and as you get older, stuff starts going haywire, and the thingamajig doesn't work, and the whatchamacallit, something's messed up with the whatchamacallit, and that's what happens. Now, page 2. Staying with the Rams, though, the Rams reports recently saying the Rams are trying to trade Matthew Stafford. A lot of buzz connecting Stafford to the New York Giants in recent days, and the Rams supposedly upset with Stafford's wife for her public commentary amid the trade rumors. So what do you think the issue here with Matthew Stafford's wife and the Rams is? Well, that's actually not that difficult. After a seconds-long MALLER investigation, we determined it is a war slogan the Rams are upset about. Back to World War II, the slogan, loose lips sink ships. That would be the issue here. Or in the case, the transfer portal, the Rams trying to finesse a trade of Stafford, working back channels as we speak right now. And these deals are often consummated way in advance, right? Way before they actually get announced, months before they're officially announced. So they're doing their legwork to figure out where to put Stafford. And his wife is meddling. The meddling wife. Yes, it's like a reality show on her fledgling podcast, because everyone's got a podcast. Even I have a podcast. Kelly Stafford, that's the name. Kelly Stafford ripped the Rams' personnel decisions, including the looking to trade Cooper Kupp and his uncertain future, even though Kupp has been a diminishing player for several years. That has rubbed the Ram organization the wrong way. Now, I'm still not convinced the Rams are going to actually have the moxie, as my dog is named, to trade Cooper Kupp. I'm still reluctant that this is actually going to happen, but I'll believe it when it does happen. Ultimately, if you take a couple of steps back and look at this, we believe that Matthew Stafford has he just doesn't care. He's like, whatever, say whatever you want. I don't care, to his wife and that whole thing. And if it's kind of like that celebrity chef Emeril, where it's like, bam, bam, kick it up a notch here. They're kicking it up a notch. And Stafford, he's ready to move on. Even though he's, I want to stay with the Rams. Does he really want to stay with the Rams? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's going to New York. You make it in New York, and he's thinking about post-football career. If you have success with the Giants, which nobody really does, but if you're able to figure it out, you could get the New York market. You've already had success in L.A., so it's the old good cop, bad cop, and wife is the bad cop, Stafford's the good cop, and it's either this or he is so whipped, Matthew Stafford, and his wife, just the toxicity level there and meddling with his career, and he just sits there like a zombie and does nothing. Stafford, while he would be an upgrade for the Giants, as we have pointed out on this show in previous episodes, at this point, Matthew Stafford he went from a Tier 2 quarterback. He's now a Tier 3, high Tier 3 quarterback in the NFL. The last 6 games of his L.A. Ram regular season career, Stafford was like a house of cards, ready to come tumbling down for the Rams. Very inconsistent. And as we have seen in all sports, that is the telltale sign of a diminishing career, where every once in a while you go out and play great, but more times than not, you stink. Look at like Paul George. We talked about him last hour. Paul George in the NBA. Every once in a while he'll score 30 points, and then he'll come back and have like 8 or 12 or 2. That's more the regular. All right, now, final point. To Cincinnati we go, and that's where an NFL general manager, an NFL GM, says that Joe Burrow, star quarterback Joe Burrow, is not going to be happy. And if Joe Burrow's not happy, no one's happy. Burrow's going to be unhappy with the Bengals after the offseason. Can you decode what that GM means? So the message is rather simple. Prepare for a 2 words, fire drill. Ergo, a mass exodus. In fact, the only one left in Cincinnati will be Justin in Cincinnati and possibly just Josh, but he might relocate also. A mass exodus. Now, Cincinnati has the following players that can be yours if the price is right. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, defensive star Trey Hendrickson, and tight end Mike Gesicki. All of them either free agents or looking to get paid, and if they don't get paid, they're looking to leave Cincinnati. Now, Burrow has already offered to redo his contract to play the shell game and move money around in order to allow the Bengals to keep the band together on a non-playoff team. But my take on this is level-headed approach. Level-headed approach here. If you look at this level-headed, the GM predicted that 50% of those guys would be gone at best, and I think that's accurate. They're not going to cook the books. They're not into cooking the Bengals front office. They've never operated that way. Why would they all of a sudden start operating that way? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Compared to other NFL teams that are willing to go above and beyond what is required, and you can always futz around with the numbers. The salary cap is designed in a way for manipulation if you want to manipulate it. If not, you can use it as the end-all, be-all excuse and say, I can't afford this player, I can't afford that player. Put your hands up in the air and say, oh, it's a salary cap. Oh, it's a salary cap. But if you want the player, you can keep the player. So the Bengals have never been that motivated. And we've pointed out that it's old family money. It's family business. It's essentially a slush fund for the family. And if you put more money into the payroll and you take money out of the vacation fund, that's one less yacht you can rent. That's one less private plane flight you can take because that's going to the player payroll. But if I'm in charge, based on what I know of the Bengals, then I would do everything I can to keep Jamar Chase because he's a top 10 receiver, top 5 receiver in the NFL, so you'd keep him. You figure you can get someone to slide into the T. Higgins role because everyone will be focused on Jamar Chase, and then you would keep Trey Hendrickson. And as far as Mike Gesicki, it's okay. Is you really going to lose any sleep if Mike Gesicki leaves? Probably not. And T. Higgins, you hope you can work something out where you do like a sign-and-trade type deal and you get something in return for T. Higgins if you can futz around that direction. That's what I would do. And I'm never wrong about these things, ever. Never, ever wrong. I've been the general manager for 32 NFL teams for over 20 years, and my record is spotless. My record is perfect. I have not lost my job. Well, I actually did lose my job one time. But overall, my record, I have a winning record as an executive for all these teams. All right, it is the Ben Maller Show. You want to comment about any of this? You are more than welcome to join us here. It is a President's Day edition, so many people not working today. We are. Is this a company holiday? It is not a company. I thought it was a federal holiday. It's a federal holiday.
It is a company holiday.
Oh, good. All right.
I don't think we get special pay.
No?
We 100%.
It's a federal holiday. It's you can't work around that. We get
for us.
Yeah. Come on now. All right. And boy, Eddie's not here on a company holiday. Unbelievable. All right. I'm sorry. All right.